chop it together.
I'll probably be doing that. Oh, it's turned on again. Should be.
Yeah, but
So
it was doing that to me too.
Yeah, we're recording. We're trying to record right now, guys. And our ring light has been like turning off. And my mom said like it has been happening like all day. So that's a little weird. And the phone keeps starting the video by itself.
So welcome to Spooky Cuentos, by the way. Spooky.
It's going to be pretty dark, so it's okay.
Like our soul.
It's a little emo. Okay, so how do you want to start off the top?
Introductions.
Oh, yeah.
Mother-daughter duo. The specifics are unimportant. But we decided to do this channel because paranormal activity and all the fun stuff there is that goes along with it.
And how your occupation happens to connect with that.
So I work at a cemetery, and I have for the last 7 years. And I've never personally experienced any spooky stuff, but I failed to mention it's a mausoleum, which is an indoor cemetery. It's a mortuary and a crematory on site. So we're going to be posting a lot of funeral things, a lot of death things. Trying not to be emo about it, but there's a lot out there. Also, we live in the state with one of the most hauntedest, spookiest houses, cemetery, and hotel. Let me know in the comments if you know what state we're coming from. If not, we'll reveal it at a later time.
There's lots of places that have that title, you know. I feel like whenever someone says the spookiest something, it's always like everybody's kind of has.
It's a matter of opinion, I guess.
Kinda, yeah.
But ours has literally been rated number 1.
So
real fun. It's not fun while you're in it, and when you're experiencing it, you see our skulls. They're like everywhere. We can't help it.
Dark, you know, spooky stuff.
Before I worked at a mausoleum, my favorite movie of all time was Nightmare Before Christmas. And if you know, you know.
Literally, actual addicts. Yeah.
There he is.
And then we have the Sally counterpart downstairs.
Yeah. In culture, Dia de los Muertos, it's also something that we incorporated into our lives. I've been obsessed with death for a long time. Not even obsessed, but like...
It's a very comfortable topic right now. Like,
and I raised more childrens to feel that way as well. They grew up at the mausoleum, literally running around and, you know, all sorts of things out in the open that they probably weren't supposed to be seeing.
Yeah.
That's a we'll leave that for another time. Yeah.
Okay, so basically we were talking about the posts and threads that she had made about a cemetery topic and experiences people may have. Specifically, her coworkers' experiences of hearing light operas, like faint opera singing throughout the halls, and seeing a woman with a white lace dress with a sun hat, you said?
Yeah, so we actually have a original mausoleum across the street that was built in 1918. And it was built by Benbow, and that's all I'm going to say because I want to give away the name of the location. But long story short, the guy was like a European art aficionado. He came and he bought this mausoleum. And then when he passed, his son buried him in the mausoleum that he built. And that's the one that I work in. And I'm one of the senior employees, along with one other gentleman who's also been there probably 10 plus years. Only difference is that I, like I said, never have had any personal experiences, but I have something separate from this. If you guys want to follow me on my other channels, The Spice Drop. I'm on TikTok under The Spice Drop, and I have my channel on here. I'm going to put the links and all that stuff later. But long story short, I also have a Threads, Instagram, and Facebook. And on Threads, I posed the question, you know, just being there so freaking long and never seeing anything, no personal experiences, and why do people think that?
And personally, like, I know I'm like a super like spooky enthusiast. Like, I really look into that topic heavily, but I personally haven't experienced anything that's like completely straightforward, like paranormal. It usually has somewhat of an explanation to it. So I'm also wondering why I haven't seen anything like that.
This girl, she said she wanted to be a medium. And I try to explain to her that those are just things that you're born with. It's not necessarily an occupation you can go searching for or study for.
We do have a relative that is a medium, and she began explaining to me how that's like terrible. You don't want to wish that upon yourself.
Because it could be good spirits or bad spirits.
Yeah, and unwanted, and you don't really want to see. And
you can't
control
turn
that.
it off.
Yeah.
That's my biggest
switch.
I would be nervous as hell. I wouldn't say I am not open to the experience, but some people did comment on there that maybe that's why. That because I'm so busy or so like enthralled in whatever it is that I'm doing that I fail to see the signs. But I'm also very open with the universe and the signs on other things. So I don't think that's it. But hey, I don't have a problem. They're comfy, I'm comfy. It's best that way.
Do you think, like, personal question, do you have, like, anything at the cemetery? Did you have any, like, clients tell you any stories, like, at all?
Oh, man. That's also
like
probably going to be another video.
Well,
just
like, in general, what?
Yeah, I actually have a lady whose mom is on Christmas Day, right? And super sweet Italian family. And she tells me that her mom was living with her for the last couple years. You know how they usually take care of, a loved one who's sick. And ever since she passed, she says that she'll walk by the room and the light will turn on. And that was the specific room that her mom occupied when she was living. And me, I try to tell them like, oh yeah, that's mom. She's just coming by to check up on you, make sure everything's as it was, because sometimes I feel like they don't exactly realize that they're gone, or maybe they do and they just want to kind of
like reach out,
exactly,
best of their abilities.
And she says sometimes she'll see like on the sheets like a butt print, like someone's been sitting there. And I tell all the time, I'm like, well, that was mom, you know that. And people are scared to come in there. Like, they'll stay at the door. Like, people that have people in there and people that don't. Like, it'll be just, it's the weirdest thing to see someone flip out over going inside. I'm like, lady, it's nice in here. Historic mausoleum, so it's actually a lot of artwork and statues, and it looks like a damn museum in itself. And I always joke with people because they're like, oh, isn't it a museum? And I'm like, well, technically, it's a human museum. Exactly. It's a little different.
I've also heard, like, with energies, again, the dog, he's gonna be scratching on the door.
Creepy qualities.
With energy that sometimes instead of the spirit actually being there, it could be like a forever repeat of the same like event. I've also noticed that that's usually at places with more traumatic experiences.
Right. Just like people would think that, a cemetery, there's a lot of bodies in there, so there must be a lot of spirits.
Yeah, cemeteries are places of like peace, and not a lot of traumatic events usually happen there, so that'd be the least area you'd be able to find paranormal in.
My point in saying that was that that's a lot of trauma on that land, and so yeah. As far as stories, also my coworker who is like an older gentleman, like he tells me all the time that there is a spirit that actually like peeks in his doorway, like
I hear that a lot.
Kind of like hanging on there like hello, and he's just like not fazed by it because it's like an everyday occurrence pretty much. And this is the same person that also smelled the cigarette smoke and heard the faint opera singing across the street in the older mausoleum. And that mausoleum is pretty much shut down to the public. It's not open anymore because their loved ones have also already passed.
If you don't have anything more to say about like the cemetery, I do have options of cemetery superstitions. First, I'll be starting off with just completely cemetery and like grave superstitions, not superstitions. And then I'll be giving you about like 4 options of keywords to like pick of your choice, and I'll read off some superstitions around that. Not necessarily cemetery, but more like funeral and things like that. Apparently, you're supposed to tuck your thumbs into your fist when passing a cemetery to protect your parents.
What?
Yeah.
I've never heard of that.
Or you're never supposed to whistle inside the cemetery walls, or you'll summon the devil.
Damn, I thought it was gonna summon the mimics.
I remember when you had that statue at your job that people thought was that, but not necessarily. It's not. And third, visiting a cemetery after dark will bring bad luck.
Well, damn.
You do that a lot, so.
Listen, I have the front door key, so I can come in and out as I please.
Kind of live like across from it.
Right next.
4, the person who takes something from a cemetery will return with more than he took.
So that I am a strong believer in because people,
Karma.
Man, oh man, I believe highly in karma. I believe highly in what you put out into the universe definitely will come back. And I believe that taking stuff from a grave is a no-no.
Absolute number one no-no. But there is one that's contradicting, since these are kind of like folklore, like old superstitions. It says, go to a cemetery, get some black dirt off a grave, and put that dirt under steps you have to walk over, and you will always have luck.
Oh, wow, I'm gonna try that shit.
We don't take things from cemeteries, guys.
Yeah,
dirt
what?
or not, because...
even the dirt, but it says something about you will always have luck.
Well, these are also folklore.
Oh, gotcha.
So
I was about to
you don't
start
know
throwing
if
that on
it's
the
entirely
stairs.
true.
You might trip somebody up.
Maybe you just gotta like stop going after dark so we get good luck. And finally, a pregnant woman should not go to a cemetery or her infant may be possessed.
Damn, that explains my sibling. I'm just kidding.
Think about all the scary like killer babies and like Spirit Halloween and movies like that. Imagine
Rosemary's Baby. I'm gonna want to talk about that one.
Okay. So now here are the 4 keywords, and you can pick one. Some are a lot longer than others, but you know, I'll maybe cut some out, like cut some examples out if it's too long. So there's home, clothing, flowers, and mirrors. Which one would you like?
Mirrors.
Okay. And these ones aren't exactly like grave or superstitions or cemetery, but again, I think I said that right, so whatever. Flowers. Number 1. If the deceased lived a good life, flowers will bloom on his grave. But if he has been evil, only weeds will grow.
Ooh, I'm gonna go check out the lawn crypts. Imagine you got freaking moldy mushrooms and fungus growing on your grave.
Number 2. Having only red and white flowers together in a vase, especially in the hospital, means death will soon follow.
Ooh, that is kind of creepy because my grandfather's favorite roses were red. I don't think we put them in with white though. I think he would not have approved.
Number 3. Never take flowers from a grave or that spirit will haunt you.
Ooh, I agree that if you're a piece of crap,
not the
things will
person.
happen to you. Yeah, no, because I had a gentleman actually. Listen to this, okay?
Oh, man.
This guy came in with his sick father. I'm not sure if he did. Now, this is a grown man, okay? Had to be like in his 50s. The gentleman was maybe in his 70s already. Long story short, he has since passed. And this guy, I had to chase him out of the cemetery so he would pay $5 for a bouquet that he went and put on his mom's grave. Now, I literally went over there and I excused myself and I spoke to his mother, the deceased, right? And I told her, I am so sorry, ma'am, but your son is a piece of shit. And he did not pay for this. And so I took it off and I put it back in the fridge. Now, I wouldn't say, I think that because I excused myself, nothing came of it.
Yeah.
Nothing happened. But I do believe that people that purposefully take things like trinkets and personal items off a grave are risking bad juju following them home and cursing them. Because again, that's on the same level of taking the food that people bring. Because some people believe that the loved one is supposed to eat the food, like in the spiritual world, and that's why they bring
on
it.
Day of the Dead, Dia de los Muertos.
Yeah,
especially
Asians do that
Coco,
too. They bring
shows
like the incense and pray.
Yeah.
And then when they're done, like, they'll blow out the incense and leave the food. And they've even told us, like, you know, it's customary to do so, but you guys are more than welcome to toss it when you guys have to, because at that point we're done praying and they should be done eating.
Number 5, a living flower taken from a gravesite will not grow.
Oh no.
Oh, man.
Well, it's not. Well,
That's so cool. Like right after that, and you explained your story, I had no idea you did that. So I would have left like one flower there if that was me. But
hey, you know what? Like, they're only $5, and you know,
but like
it was the principle, and I think because he was mom and I'm a mom myself, like we saw eye to eye. We know that that's some fugazi. You just don't do that. He knew better.
Really cool that I wrote these like before we did this, so I wanted her reaction like solely, so she wouldn't like have a scripted one.
But do you know what that reminds me of?
Back to back, yeah.
It reminds me a lot of why the Noche Buena won't grow.
Ooh.
Not that it's not growing.
From a gravesite?
I did not take it from an actual gravesite, but we were throwing it away, and I took it from there. So it could have been. I have this flower, which is native to Mexico, the poinsettia, if you will. I took this sucker because they were throwing it away, and I've had it ever since, but the leaves are not turning red. And if you know that around Christmas time, they're supposed to come out red. It's not an actual flower, they're leaves, but they're supposed to turn completely red. And they have not in 2 freaking years. And the little thing is still this small, but it's still growing. It's got new leaves, but now I think it's because of that.
Well, I mean, I guess it won't give you any bad juju, but it is not growing because it was not supposed to be yours.
Yeah.
I know the job, I'm not saying your job doesn't exactly respect that, but...
maintenance probably doesn't give a...
Yeah, so they just were going to throw it out because...
And I could not see a native, beautiful flower / plant being thrown out, so I took it. So, not with ill intent.
I guess, yeah, if it doesn't really have any true ill intent and it wasn't like, you didn't know, I guess you can't really be truly punished for that. So
thank you.
I think it was great that you chose this one because you have a lot of flower connecting your stories, so this is really nice. Next one. If you smell roses when none is around, someone is going to die.
Dang. But I chose mirrors.
You did?
Yeah.
What?
You could go back and see the pictures.
Oh my god. And you just let me keep going.
I mean, your flowers is good too, but I was like, well,
we
might have to edit that in that I said flowers. Cause I never said flowers.
Just cut flowers.
Or just go to... What if we do both? And that would be the...
Yeah, what if we just keep this little blueprint?
Yeah, it's fine. It's more natural and it's less editing.
Yeah, I can't believe I forgot it like that quick. Maybe it was just meant
maybe
to be.
Maybe
the universe like made me choose flowers because all these flower connecting stories.
And those notebooks with flowers.
Because now you say it, like you definitely did choose mirrors.
I did.
One for flowers. A single snowdrop growing in the garden foretells a death. Lots of them are.
Is that supposed to be a flower?
I think it's a certain type of flower.
I was like, so it doesn't smell
I didn't exactly know what that meant when I was writing it either, but I could probably look that up. I'll probably like put it to the camera later. Okay. To mirrors, the originally chosen one. As soon as death occurs, the mirrors and pictures in the room should be covered or turned where they can't be looked upon. It is bad luck to let the reflection of the corpse be seen in the mirror. And what's kind of spooky about this, when I was writing it, the pen I used ran out. So you could see it right there.
Ooh, it looks spooky.
I don't know if you could see that on there, but it ran out like right there.
It's almost invisible.
But it still has that in depth. I mean, it's pretty trippy. What do you think?
But that's like for your home? You're
Yeah.
supposed to hide the mirrors so they don't stay trapped in there?
Yeah, because
Part of
it's
their
like
soul.
bad to see, yeah. I guess.
Makes sense. And I forgot what movie. But there's a lot of scary movies like that where your soul is trapped in the mirror.
Mirrors with black crepe.
Okay.
Or veiling to prevent the deceased spirit from getting trapped in the looking glass.
Yeah, I was right.
And final one. A European tradition says that if you look into the mirror before the body is removed, you can see the deceased looking over your shoulder.
What?
Trippy, yeah.
I don't know. It doesn't have to be haunted. I mean, seeing them before they leave, I guess.
I guess the way that they said it, like, is kind of spooky.
It's very spooky. I don't want to see myself in the mirror.
If they said, like, loved one looking over your shoulder, that would sound better. But deceased, like, you know.
Oh, yeah. When we take phone calls, we're not supposed to refer to them as decedent.
Like, loved ones.
That's our terminology for the funeral home, but it's very disrespectful to call them the decedent or deceased.
Whoa.
To a loved one. So.
Speaking of mirrors, at her job, you know how people usually say that two-facing mirrors are supposed to be like a really easy way, portals and energies for spirits from different areas, like all around the world, to be able to go in that area. Her job has these humongous two-facing mirrors in the hallway, so you walk through it every time you go in there. Humongous mirrors. You can see endless little possibilities in between those mirrors too, like reflections, and it's really spooky.
And we'll show you exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, when that tour
tour
goes around. That's all for these, but there's a lot more on that site that I will be linking in the description, in the bio. Yeah.
And I think that's a wrap for our first episode. Let us know what you think.
Yeah, give us some feedback. We're learning. We're kind of new to this.
Learning, girl, please. Well, this is a topic that I have been professionally working in.
We're not new in the topic.
7 years, okay?
If us yammering and blabbering is...
No, it's fine. Put suggestions and topics and spooky stories that you've heard of that you want us to research and talk about
with our little side comments, you know.
There's a lot of that, but
lots.
Just give us ideas, commentary, follow, link, subscribe, share with your peoples, all that. This is Creepie Cuentos, and we'll be back. Peace!